Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing fine. I'm Shreya Mahabalshetti. I'm an architect, and currently I'm doing my master's in design at IIT Hyderabad. So today in the video, I will be solving the C 2021 question paper, just like how I would solve it in an exam. So the reason why I'm doing this is to know how people approach questions. Are there better ways of solving something? Like, let's say you take 5 minutes to solve a question. Is there somebody who's taking just 2 minutes to solve it? So that's something that we'll be addressing. Secondly, I'll not be solving all the questions, but it is just like me writing an exam. Whatever I know, I will let you guys know. Yeah, so let's just get started. Or a couple of things before that. Timing is very crucial. It does not matter how much you know, it matters how much you can reproduce in the time that is given to you. Secondly, analyze the question paper, know your strength. Is section 1 your strength, or 2 or 3? And based on that, you approach the question paper. Thirdly, always solve a question paper like you're writing an exam. Let's say you take 2017 question paper. You set the timer for part A and you start solving it. You solve it, you give yourself that 50 minutes or 1 hour and start. So on question one, you mark the option, question two, or whatever your sequence is. And at the end of that duration, you go back and look at the answers and then even grade yourself. So that way you know how are you managing time, what are your strengths or which section you're strong at, and it's okay even if you get really low marks. It will prepare you better for the exam. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so the first question is, the front view of a solid object is shown in the image. If the views from all six sides are the same, how many surfaces does it have? So clearly in the questions it is given that there are six sides that are same. So you can see that the 3D has six arms. Okay, so that's important. Next, here, what you have to keep in mind is you have to write down how many surfaces are there and do not do it mentally. Always write it down. Because when you're in a high pressure situation, there are chances that simple things might get slipped out. So, since there is a point here, you know that this is one surface, this whole thing. Write it down. The next one, you know you cannot see anything at the bottom. So, it is going to be this. That is another surface. Then you see there is a square here that has one surface plus the surfaces vertically. That makes it 5. Okay. Then the next one is this circle that you see. Okay. So that's 1. But you see that the edge meets here. So each of this is counted as a surface. Hence it is 5. So totally there are 5 plus 5, 10 plus 1 plus 1, that's 12. But there are 6 of these arms. So 12 6 are 72. Okay, so that's my answer. Okay, also the reason why I started off with section 1 is I feel that it is my strength. But if it is not for you, then you can start off with the section that you feel comfortable with, right? Okay. So this question here, it's a very simple question where they say, what is the area of the hexagon divided by the area of the great triangle? Now you're wondering, there's no number given, there is no information, no question given, just a problem statement, right? Which is also a mathematical statement. How would you solve this? When things like this are given, you have to use cues such as it is an equilateral hexagon, your visual part you have to use. So it's an equilateral hexagon. So what you have to do is you have to, let's say I draw the diagonals. Okay. The minute I draw the diagonals, I get six triangles in this, right? Also, you see that this triangle is very similar to this because they're isosceles triangles, right? Now imagine I move this here. Okay, so this becomes one triangle and this becomes another triangle. So that forms how many? That is 1 and 2. So the area of the great triangle is actually two triangles. Okay, and the area of the hexagon is totally 6. The area is not the leftover portion but 6. Hence it is two ones are and two threes are. So the answer should be 3. Okay, that's how I solved it. Uh, the shown figure is first cloned and flipped on the axis PP, and the resulting image is cloned and flipped on axis QQ. How many triangles does the resulting image have? So, in the question paper, I haven't solved this, but if you want me to, then I can tell you how to start off. It is said that it is cloned and flipped. Cloned is to take it and you just flip. Cloned is literally getting the same image out and flipping it. So there'll be something that happens like this. Okay, and this I'm sorry, whole thing repeats itself. Okay. Also, questions like these might be simple, but they do take a lot of time, and the chances of error are a lot. Let's say you just forget to consider uh, this triangle that is here. Okay, for some reason you just did not see it, and you have counted, let's say, some 59 triangles or like 58 triangles, but there could be four more of those, and that would lead to 62. So such questions are simple but actually quite difficult, and they consume a lot of time. So once you lose time in doing this and you still get a wrong answer, that is an issue. Okay, so I had skipped this question in the exam because of the same reason. A necklace made of white and black cube beads arranged in a particular sequence is shown in the figure. Find out the number of black beads. Okay. Blue mark indicates the start of the necklace and the red mark indicates the end of the necklace. Now let's look at the sequence. So there's a black bead, then there's a white bead, then there are two black beads. But now I expected there could be two white beads. Why are there three? And then is the next one three again? No, that's five. And then post that there are randomly like a lot of other colored, white colored multiple beads. So it is not a arithmetic progression sequence, right? Like a simple one. It's not. I struggled a lot with this question in the exam. I did spend a lot of time on it and I did not get the right answer. Uh, I'll just tell you how to solve it. It works on the Fibonacci series. Maybe at the end of this video, I can solve it for you guys or in the next video. Okay. So I skipped this question too. Now, coming to the next question. The figure shows an urban road map of a city. The boundary of the city is a perfect rectangle as indicated by by the black dotted line. The gray lines indicate the major roads that run parallel to the edges of the city. Okay. The red line shows the route taken by a bus from point P to point Q if the perimeter of the boundary is 68. Okay. So perimeter is 2 times P plus Q. That is 68. Okay. Uh, what is the distance traveled in the bus by the bus in kilometers? Okay. Now we know that the perimeter is 68. There's no way on earth they have given measurements of any of this. What I did was every single horizontal line can be aligned to this and every single vertical line can be aligned to this, which means it forms a line like that. What is a perimeter? A perimeter is this plus this plus this plus this, and I only need this and this. That is nothing but 68 divided by 2. Okay, 2 ones are 2 34s. So the answer is 34. See, it looks complicated, but it is actually quite simple. When you do not have enough information for calculating something, you have to do some sort of a jugad to like come up with the answer. Okay. Now find the digit that is not written in the same font as the others. Okay. So the minute I saw this question, my eye went to this. There's a curve here. Sorry. The terminal of this letter basically has a curved end, and that's the word. Six circular biscuits of diameter 10 centimeter are arranged on a circular plate as shown below. What is the circumference of the plate in centimeters? So I need to know the circumference. Always, it becomes very important. Here, they are talking about the diameter. But in the question, they are asking circumference of the plate in centimeters. So never get confused. What is the end result they're expected us to give because of some words that they've mentioned earlier? Like because they keep talking about diameter, doesn't mean they're asking about the diameter of the circle. Instead, they're asking about the circumference. Okay. So it is said that this is 10 centimeter, which means I know that this is 10 centimeter. Now, visually looking at it, we know that there could be a circle that could fit into it, and this is 10. That's how I did it in the question paper, like while writing the exam. But if you logically want to see it, why that works is, let's say I connect the circles, I will get a hexagon. That is a regular hexagon. Okay. When you get a regular hexagon, you get an equilateral triangle. Okay. So when you get an equilateral triangle, you know that this is 10, this is 10, this is 10, which means this is also 10, because ये half में cut होता है. Okay. And hence you will get this circle, and eventually the diameter is 10. So the diameter that we have got is 30 centimeters. What is the circumference? Circumference is pi d, right? I'm sorry. Okay. So pi is 22 by 7 into 30. Is there a way I can do this? No, right? So 22 by 7, that will be a bigger mathematics. See, imagine 22 by 7 में calculate करके वहाँ तक if I figure it out, it will become really big. So 22 by 7 is usually 3.14. Okay, that you multiply by 30. Okay, 3 fours are 12. 3 ones are 3, 4.3 threes are 9. But you also have a 0, so that's 94.2. Okay. So as simple as that. When enough information is not given, you need to find out ways to draw stuff and draw more diagonals, draw some variants. Also, they have this affinity towards regular polygons, towards circles. So you should be aware of things like this. Okay. So gears is also a very common question. Uh, what I know about gears is a smaller gear rotates faster than a bigger gear. Okay. But let's say a gear or a pulley is fixed on one on top of the other, they rotate at the same speed, or the circumference or the distance traveled will be the same. Okay. Just watch a few videos on pulleys and gears, and also solve some questions from previous year, and this question should get sorted with that. Okay. So let me solve this. Gear Q. Okay, so that's the gear. Gear Q is fixed on the pulley R. It is fixed. Okay, that word is important. If the pulley P undergoes 4.5 full rotations, if this goes on making 4.5 full rotations, how many rotations will gear S undergo? So I want to find out how many rotations this undergoes. So if this is making 4.5, the smaller one will make the double of it. Okay, because इसका diameter 40 है, इसका 20 है. It is 2 times, hence the rotation will also be 2 times. So this makes 9 rotations. If this makes 9 rotations, here this इसका diameter 20 है, इसका half है. So if it is smaller, 9 का वो बन जाएगा 18 rotations. Okay. Bigger the pulley, lesser the rotation. If your diameter has halved, then your rotation will double. Similarly, your diameter has become half here, and so your rotation has doubled. But look at the difference between the pulley R and the pulley, I don't know what, the green pulley, the smaller one. Okay. That is 10 and this is 40, which means it has increased 4 times, which means your rotation will reduce 4 times. That is 18 divided by 4. 18 is 4.5. Okay. That's 2 twos are, 2 nines are, 2 ones are, 2 4.5s are. Okay. So this is rotating at 4.5, and so will Q rotate at 4.5 because they have said it is fixed. Okay. Once that is fixed, this, since it's the bigger one and it is 4 times bigger, sorry, not 4 times, iska 20 hai, so it is twice as big as this. The smaller pulley, the smaller gear rotates at 4.5, So the bigger one will rotate at a lesser speed. Hence, it will be divided by 2. That is 2.25. Okay. Uh, in section 2, I was not very good at section 2, so I did not bother to solve much here. I jumped to section 1. So the reason behind it is in section 2, multiple options can be correct. And in section 3, only one option for sure is correct. Okay, so the time you save, the minute you see some difference in one of the options, you know that that is the right answer. Hence, you save time and you also get proportionately more marks. But yeah, I do understand that there is negative marking, but I feel that is simpler for me. But the time you spend in solving question section 2 is quite more. Okay, so from and that's why I picked section 3. Okay. So coming to section 3, which option is a scaled version of image B? So here in section 3, the whole game is about knowing your options more than knowing your question. So you have to compare options. You have to compare options with the question. Sometimes even when you do not have any knowledge about the question, just look at the options. Just look at what could be a possible feasible answer to this. Okay, now let's look at this. Which option is a scaled version of image P? Now instead of me comparing option A to P, option B to P, option C to P, option D to P, I'll compare A and B. Okay, I'll reduce the time and I'll compare A and B. Clearly, I can see that one of this is missing here. Now immediately compare that with P. Hence, option A is gone. Okay, B is left. Now I'll compare option B and C. Okay, B and C may, what is the difference? Huh, I can see that one of this is missing. Here it is present. Hence option B is gone. I'm left with C and D. And compare C and D. Um, this, okay, wait, what's missing? Huh. So this white part is missing in D, but it is available in P. So hence C is your answer. So this is option C. So what I did instead of, so I actually cut down the time by comparing the options. Okay. Now, an open window is shown in the top view. It has a locking lever L, which holds the window pane at only position R. Which locking lever out of the given options will make it possible to hold the window pane at position P, Q, R, and S? Okay. So right now it can only hold at R, which means एक छोटा सा you can see this, right? Yeah. So you can see this. That's why you can see that hole there, and that's why it is holding it at R. Now imagine P, Q, and R is easy to make, but the hinge stops here, which means if the window has to open on the side, it has to go out. Okay. And the only option that is available here is D. And hence that will be the answer. Okay. Next question. Figure P shows the top view of a circular tabletop with few objects arranged on it for a sketching class. Numbers 1 to 24 in figure P represent different directions around the table from which students are sketching the objects. Okay. Which option gives the directions from which the sketches in figure Q and R are drawn? Okay. So we need to tell them from where the students are looking at these objects, and these two views are given. Now, immediately what catches my eye is the cone here, these three cones. Okay. So now let's say, okay, this is so evident here, right? So let's say in the picture R, I'm looking at these two cones and this is on the right side, which means I'm looking at it from here and it is on the right side. So this could be somewhere here. Option देखते हैं. Option में है 5 है 15, 16 and 15. So option A is gone. There's only uh, B, C, D. But these are very close to take a call. Now look at these. The Q part of it is 8, 1 and 24. They're very far. So obviously one of them is the right answer and it's easy to pick also. Now let's look at Q. Uh, let's say I take these two and I see that one is at the back. So I want it to the left. So I'm looking at it and something comes to the left. So it is 1 or 24, 24 and 1. Okay, so again, these are very close. Uh, I'm just wondering, wait, if I stand here, I see this. I stand here, I see this. Am I looking at the ball from the side? Yes. So I'm standing at 1. So the answer is this one. Because at 24, it would obstruct my view. Okay. Next question. So I'm usually not very good with dice, but there's a trick that a lot of people do follow. That when you have a dice, just take a clean eraser with you and mark it on the eraser, and then open it up or close it, and whatever the question is, you can solve it. But I haven't solved this. Which set of pieces can form a full circle if rotation of pieces is not permitted? Okay, so which forms a full circle when rotation is not permitted? We know that in a circle, when you cut it into four parts, it is 90-degree, and only then it will create a four-part wala thing, right? So if you look at option A, all of them are acute angles. Let's say if I put all acute angles in a circle, it will only form this much of the circle, right? So this is gone. Now here all of these are obtuse angles. So again this is gone. Here I do see this is acute angle. So for checking this, you can hold a scale against this to check if this is 90 degrees or not. Okay. So if it is not, this option is also gone. But here you can see if there is an obtuse angle, there's also an acute angle. So hence I think this is the option. I don't think I've marked this in the exam. I don't remember. Okay, which option is the correct logo? Mahindra. This one. Okay. Which option will replace the question mark? Now, this question might seem a little overwhelming. First of all, this question is for 2 marks because it is in section 3. So, obviously, they're not going to ask you something that consumes a lot of time. There's some trick in it. Okay. What I observed was there are these circles, sorry, these two x's that are there that become horizontal here, then cross here, then horizontal here, then like this. So if this is horizontal and this is like this, and again like this, and again like this, so obviously this one's horizontal. And has that happened anywhere? So here it is like this, here it is like this, here it is like this, and here it is. So this is option A. So see, that hardly took me what? Less than 30 seconds to solve that. So it might look overwhelming, but probably they are not. Okay, so P and Q are two grids in which white squares are transparent. P is rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise and Q is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. What would be the resulting figure if the rotated grids are overlapped? Okay, since it is transparent and it is overlapped. In such cases, I would suggest never do it mentally because there are chances that you might miss some squares. It is easier to do it to write it down in your book. Okay. So what are they saying? They're saying Q is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. So when it is rotated clockwise, okay, red is for sure there. Okay. So when Q gets rotated, all of your rows becomes your column. So the leftmost becomes the topmost. Okay. So this is gone and this is gone. The next one, this is gone, this is gone. Then in this one, this is gone. Then in this one, this is gone. Okay. Now this one, P, where you rotated counterclockwise. Counterclockwise, you again, red will come here only. All your first rows will become column. Hence, this is gone. Then next one, this is gone. Then here, this and this is gone. And finally, this one's gone. So what are we left with? We're left with 1, 2, 3, and this. So where are these aligned? So red is there in all of these. यहाँ पे ये जो pattern है इसमें दिख रहा है. So this is the answer. Okay. Yeah. An artwork drawn on the wall, ceiling, and floor of a long corridor, when viewed from a specific angle, creates an illusion, as shown in the image on the left. Okay, which option correctly depicts this artwork as seen from opposite side of the corridor? So they're standing on the opposite side and seeing it. Now imagine decoding this into this. Instead, start comparing the options. So option A, B, C, D, check for what is the difference. So you can see that option C has left this arm longer compared to the other options. Is that the case here in the image? Unfortunately, no. Here, this one's longer, which means this had to be longer. Okay, so hence option C is ruled out. Okay, then come to option A, B, and D. What is the difference? You can see there are three lines here, there are three lines here, there are two lines here. Check if there are three. So here we can see three, so D is gone. Sorry. Hence D is gone. Now we're left with A and B. You see that those three dots, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, here the dot is in between. Hence it is option B. Okay. Which option will replace the question mark? Okay. Here it can be slightly confusing. Now let's look at what they're trying to do. Look at the edge treatment here. If you think that the color is not falling in place, if you think that the pattern is too similar, look at what different points they could have. That is the edge treatment here. There's half a circle. Okay, here there is half a circle, there is full circle, half a circle, full circle. So eventually there has to be half a circle. So ye aur ye chala gaya. You're left with two. Now how do you know, is it an upward curve or is it a downward curve? Here it is upward, downward. Okay, wait, let's not do that. I think if this is upward, the alternate has half a curve, right? So this is downward. Hence this will be upward. So B is the answer. Okay. Now, in order to fit a metal rim to the wooden wheel of a bullock cart, the metal rim is dash and placed on the wooden wheel and dash. The process works because dash. Okay. Okay. In order to fit the metal rim to the wooden wheel of a bullock cart, the metal rim is heated and placed on the wooden wheel and cooled. Okay. The metal expands as it cools. No, metal does not expand as it cools. Metal shrinks as it cools. Yes, the metal shrinks as it cools. Okay. So this and this option are correct. Okay, and metal expands as no, it doesn't. Okay, so first, in order to fit the metal rim to the wooden wheel of a bullock cart, the metal rim is cooled, heated. The metal shrinks as it cools is wrong because it is heated, then cooled, and eventually, because when it cools, it shrinks. So option C is the right answer. Okay. Figure on the left shows a screen from a shadow puppetry show with the arrangement behind the scene. Which option will be the closest representation of this scene as a result of arrangement 2? Okay, so here it is said that ship cutout. So first one, option 1 is ship cutout. The closer it is, the bigger it is, and the farther away it is, the smaller it is, because the monster is 3. Okay, then 2 is waves cutout. That is same in the second option also. Then 3 is the monster cutout, light source. Okay, fine, cool. So here, if 3 is your monster cutout and it is closer to the light, it means that it has to be really big. Correct. So obviously it is not this option or this option. It is either this or this. Now how do we differentiate? Here they're placed one behind the other. This one's also placed one behind the other. But see, comparatively, here the monster is big, here also it is big, but the ship has to be smaller compared to the monster. Hence, it is option C. Okay, because here it is, ship is also big and the monster is also big. Okay, so 31st, P. Tamil Nadu, Mamalapuram. Yeah, this is Mahabalipuram. Uh, Q. Delhi, it could be. R. Orissa. S. Gujarat. Okay, so step wells are usually found in Gujarat. So it is Gujarat, Gujarat, Gujarat. Three options are right. Okay. Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu. So this option's gone. So we're left with Odisha. Okay, this is also there. So only difference is Delhi, NCR, and Maharashtra. Now I think so. What happened with me was I thought it was Delhi and I marked it Delhi, but it is Maharashtra. Now, how do I know? The geometrical language of Taj Mahal and any of the monuments in Delhi is very much in line with the Fibonacci series or the golden ratio. I'm sorry if I'm drawing it wrong. Okay. So this does not look very similar to that. Okay. And hence it was Maharashtra, but yeah. Okay. So P shows the way a t shirt is folded. Q shows the image of the ink spilled over such a folded t shirt. If the t shirt is unfolded and viewed from behind, which image most accurately represents the ink stain? Okay. Now, even in exam you visualize it by hand, doing it with your hand. So first this is folded, then this is folded, and then this the other part is folded. So first, second, and third, do it with your hand. Okay. Now when you stain ink like this, okay, this one, first remove the third fold that you've made. When you remove the third fold that you've made, it is obviously, and it is also mirrored. I'm sorry, this is also flipped. Okay. So all your big guys should be on the right side. This is not, hence this is gone. Okay. Now the next one would be, if this is lower, this should be higher. Correct. So this is wrong. Now coming to these two. Here, you see, this is not mirrored. Technically, that should be mirrored. So it is option B. Now, this might be a little difficult to understand. I think you should try it with paper, try staining it. There's also one trick that you can do. Uh, you see, this is going towards the collar and this is going away from the collar. So you can look at cues. So this is going towards the collar. This is going away down from the collar. So things like this, you can also take cues and do it. Okay. So the edge treatment, what is a peculiarity that a question has, becomes important. This was an animation question. There are 12 principles of animation. There's a video on YouTube. You guys can refer to that, and it's marvelous to answer most of the questions related to animation. Uh, this I have not solved even in the exam. This is again an animation question. Again, you can just refer to the video. How many fonts have been used in the words given below? Now, look at this question. First of all, I mean, good if you know what script this is and if you can read and write it. But otherwise, it's a bad option to go for this because look at the how close the options are. It's not like one option is 4 and the other option is 12 and the maybe the next option is 30. They're very close. So if you miss out one, there are high chances that you might give the wrong answer and and get minus zero point 0.5 or something. Even this one, I tried quite hard. I could not answer it. Animated video again. This was quite simple. You could read what she was mumbling, and you can just answer the question. This is count the surfaces of the solid object. Let's say you feel that you're not very confident with what you have done earlier, like whatever answers you've given, and you feel that you might not get enough marks, then I would suggest you go for this, because again, these options are very close to each other and it takes a lot of time. For 2 marks, the amount of time it takes while solving the question paper is way too much, and there are high chances that we might forget one surface, just one. Okay, and so this question, I think you guys need to just keep one thing in mind. Don't look at all three of these or all four of these fins. Just look at one of them, okay, which is maybe has a peculiar thing going towards it or something like that. Okay. So if you look at that, this option is anyway gone. No, it's not. Still has something. So these are such tricky questions where you end up spending a lot of time and there are high chances that you might fail. Okay, so this kind of analysis comes only when you solve the question paper thoroughly and by sitting by yourself. And let's say you just read a question and you feel like it is very difficult and you go look up for the answer, then what's the point? Okay. So I hope I've helped you guys. And oh, yeah, there's one more question. Okay. Four transparent planes, A, B, C, and D, are shown in front view on the left. Okay. But when viewed in perspective, they appear like the image shown on the right. Okay. Which plane is the farthest from the viewer? Okay. A, B, C, and D. I hadn't solved this, but whatever is farthest from the viewer, no matter how far it is, it can adjust itself. But what's closer to you, the difference between the objects should be lesser. And I think it is option A, but I'm not very sure. Okay. So, section 2, I will not be solving, or I will be solving in another video, which will happen soon, hopefully. I hope you guys have understood what I was trying to tell, and also we would love to know what are your perspectives about how to approach a question better to solve it faster. Um, Section 1 might really appear overwhelming. Also, people who think they're not very good at math might feel that, but the risk is so low. You will spend normal amount of time for 3 marks with no negative marking. So I would say, with no preconceived notion, just go for it and solve the section 1. It could actually help you get good marks. Thank you.